Good morning. Welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook, along with our host, Wally Salata. I'm Ed Nunez. Our today's special guest is Rio Rancho head boys basketball coach Wally Salata on Facebook. Coach, we've talked about this for a long time. I can't believe you haven't been on today's show, but here you are. Welcome to the show, basketball coach
Wally Salata. Thanks for having me. I think the reason why I haven't been on the show is because when I didn't pass you the ball in men's league, you decided you were not going to get me on the show. But I appreciate you. Thanks for having the bridge, my man.
Yes, that's a classic story. We'll get to that in a minute because, like I said, I still don't know what to say at that time, even 30 years later, but you're still. And even 30 years, you average 32 points a game in the Los Nunez League for everybody wanting to know. Let's make sure we get that clear.
Appreciate that.
You average 32 points a game in the Los Nunez kept his own stats everybody like Coach Salata did. And again, Coach, that's we get a lot of love.
Appreciate
that. Coach, you're 16 years of Rio Rancho. You gave us your resume, and I've known you through all of it. Head coach at Los Lunas, head coach at St. Pius, head man at Rio Grande, and head man at Rio Rancho. And it's hard to believe you've been there that long. The state championship in 2016. When I officiated many of your games, and you wore out a lot of shoes stomping at me, man. The signs. You're always a good time. I don't think we ever got into, you disagreed with some calls for sure, but we never got into any kind of altercations. And I have the utmost respect for you and your family. And, you've got your son, Walt involved. He's one of your assistant coaches, and your daughter, Allie, is an official. I try to talk to Al as much as I can and give her some tips. I need to see her work. Real proud of her. I teased you about Walt one time when I saw you coaching. I said, are you going to let him speak? Are you going to let him talk to the team? And you said, well, maybe later down the way. I don't know if you've let Walt speak anymore, Coach.
Well, first of all, Ed, I appreciate you, all the kind words. But I'll be honest with you, Ed. For one, I didn't think I'd be coaching this long. I played basketball all my life. And when I just thought once I finished playing ball, I figured, well, let's see if I can get back, coaching. And I'll be honest, man, this is 25 years as a head coach, and overall, it's been 37 because I've been an assistant for multiple people. And I'm just blessed that I have this opportunity to do what I do. It's frustrating a lot, especially now, when you're 0-2 and you're trying to get players to understand what it is that you want done. But the best part of it is my son. Yes, he is my C-team coach. He's been for 4 years. I do allow the assistant coaches to speak at the end of practice. They could say one comment, which Walt likes to talk a lot. So I got to kind of, hone him down. To a C team, he can talk all he wants, but to have him here with me, on a daily basis has been awesome. And then Allie, yes, she's been officiating and she did some football this year for the first time, which, I didn't think she could do football, but, she did a great job with football, and now she's getting some varsity games for basketball, but she's still the powerlifting and track coach here at Rio Rancho. I don't know how much longer she could do that, but to have two kids all my life follow me in the gym, playing in the men's league. When they were little, they go to me in the gym, and to grow up and be at the same school as me, it's really special. I have a third sibling, Georgia. She's at New Mexico State. She's a sophomore, so she hasn't, gone into the field of sports, but it's just great to see my kids and then my grandson, I get to see him, when I'm not coaching, he's going to be 3. So it's very busy for me, and I like it, and I enjoy what I'm doing. And like I said, we just started the year, and we go to Artesia, and tomorrow, and get ready for a tournament. So it's full blown right now. We're going 100%.
A coach pause, as Al calls you, Allie calls you, it's a whole different thing now. I'm a grandfather too. My granddaughter's 5 years old, and she's changed my whole life. She really has given me a lot of purpose. And I know you're very thrilled to be Coach Bach, as Al calls you. And I'm real proud of Allie. Her and I talk a lot of basketball, positioning, mechanics. We talk a lot. Real proud of her. I need to just go see her work. So over here, over there, I just need to go get out and see her work. Coach, one of the things, though, you were part of the state championship team at St. Pius in 1982 under Coach Duffy. Coach Duffy won championships undefeated in 1980, 1982, and 1985, also undefeated. Now, one of your teammates, Bobby Contreras, passed away recently, and it stunned us all. That's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on. Of course, you're a very, very good friend. You and I go back many years. But when that happened, we've got some great pictures. Look at Bobby playing parochial league. There's some more pictures of Bobby. But Coach, I'm going to let you take the wheels here. He's your best friend, along with Alois Wagner. Talk a little bit about the impact Bobby had on your life and many others. He had a huge impact on a whole bunch of people.
Well, I got to know Bobby. I moved. My parents moved me out here, or our family out here, back in 1972. We're from Staten Island, New York, and Bobby was kind of the first person that I met at the playground. And I tell this story, and I kind of laugh all the time. But we're in the playground, I guess, messing around, as third graders, and I had a bow tie on and a nice collar shirt, and something happened in the playground where he flipped me in the playground, and I don't know if it was because I was wearing a nice shirt or a bolo or whatnot, and
was it the bow tie?
A bow tie, and so after that time, we became, like I said, we've been best friends for 50 years. And the one thing we as kids, I do remember that we didn't have cell phones. The technology, was the landline, but we never had that. So we were always outside playing one-on-one in at St. Mary's, outside in the playground until it's dark. We would play football. Himself and I would play 2-on-2. We'd go on the grass at Immaculate Conception and play tackle football. So we always doing sports. So as we grew up, we really bonded. And when we got to high school, we did play at St. Pius, and Bobby was a point guard, and I really was kind of in between positions, but I was cut twice, and Bobby, was one of those guys that, as kids, you don't understand why people get cut. But I was able to play my senior year as 13th man, and again, to have Bobby and Alois on the, friends since third grade, Alois fourth grade, we that's where I think the bonding took place. Once I went to college, Bobby always paid attention to me. He knew I went to Fresno Pacific in California. I played 4 years. He would watch me. And then when I come back, I would play him one-on-one. That's the one thing I always tell my kids, play one-on-one, if you want to see how good you are, because you got to play offense and defense. And I remember one time we were playing in my backyard, and Bobby had the handles. I mean, he had the shakes. He was a very good point guard. And so, I'm in college, and I'm learning a lot in college, and he's putting the ball between his legs, behind his back, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm just kind of looking at his stomach. I said, "What are you doing?" And he kind of laughed at me. I said, "Those moves aren't working out no more." And so the fun part is that he always paid attention to when I was playing. And then after I got done playing, he was kind of like Shooter for Hoosiers. If you remember that movie, Gene Hackman was always looking for Shooter, where's my scout? And so when he didn't call me and say, hey, what's going on with this team or that team, I would call him up and talk to him. But he always followed me. And that was the one thing, I went to his funeral about a week and a half ago. And that was probably the hardest thing because, he was cremated, and then we put him in the ground. And so we put some items in there, his Letterman's jacket. I didn't even think he had a Letterman's jacket. I got a basketball that I put in there. And, as I'm burying him, they asked me, hey, can you put the dirt into the grave? And I'm like, okay. So, in my nice clothes, I'm shoveling dirt, and I'm stomping on his grave. And it's like, he would be very upset knowing that I stomped on him one last time. But he was a basketball fanatic. He was somebody that studied the game. He was like a walking Trivial Pursuit. He knew anybody that he talked to, he could tell him anything. I mean, and he would say, hey, don't you remember in 1976? And I'm like, Bobby, I don't even remember what I did yesterday, let alone 1976. But he was so bright on remembering things. And, when someone dies and he had cancer, and he didn't tell nobody. And that was the frustrating thing with his friends, is he didn't tell anybody that he was sick. And he was a very humble man. And I loved him. I still love him, and I miss him. And, like I said, he's somebody that I have a picture on my wall at my house, and I look at him every day because he's somebody that will be with me for the rest of my life.
You mentioned him being a fanatic, and I was friends with him too. Not the way you were, but friends with him. We played a lot of basketball at Johnson Gym together, a whole bunch of basketball. So when he'd call, his cousin Art Contreras said this: it wasn't just 5 minutes. You know that it was an hour and a half, an hour. He can go on, and he remembered when I played in the North-South game where he sat with the legendary Mike Romero. He played a lot of basketball with Mike, the Bernalillo, one of the greatest guards in New Mexico history, no question about it. They played a lot at Johnson. He'd give Mike rides back to Bernalillo. Mike remembered a lot of memories that Bobby had that were incredible, and I think he was lucky to be on a part of that championship team. Alois Wagner, Greg VeHill, Ira Hards, Joe Eckert. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of names there, but you don't forget being part of a and Coach, it's important to note you might have been the 13th man there and got cut twice. You got so much better. I mean, you and I played a lot of basketball together. At Johnson on teams together. You went and played at Fresno Pacific. So there was a growth after St. Pius, and you were still a big part of that championship team in '82. But Bobby would mention that. He was very proud of that, to be a part of that team. And, you won in 2016 a championship with Rio Rancho. And honest to God, when I talked to him, he was so proud of you. And Walter, man, he did it. He was so proud, almost like he was a part of it. And I think, for people that don't know him, there's you're a fanatic of basketball. That's why you're still coaching it 37 years later. That's why. I'm a fanatic. I played, I coached, I officiated. I'm broadcasting now. I've been blessed to have the roles that I have in this game. My son is, he's a play-by-play broadcaster. He coached. He's done some things too. And I think it's one of those things that you don't forget. And Coach, we wanted to use this first half of the show to talk about your good friend and many people's good friends, Bobby Contreras. We got about 30 seconds left. If you want to just add anything else in this segment about your friend Bobby?
Well, I mean, not only like I said, we played a lot together, but like you brought up, Mike Romero, he would always go to either Johnson Gym, the Boys Club, the Heights Community Center, and just go play. And those are the things back in the day, Ed. That we did that as kids, but nowadays it's like you can't even get kids to go outside to the park. To do the things that we did. But Bobby, like I said, he played until he tore his knee. He tore his ACL in his knee, and then it kind of, he had to stop from playing. But just because he stopped doesn't mean that he still didn't watch the game, didn't pay attention to everything that was going around in New Mexico, because he kind of knew a lot of things around New Mexico when people were playing. And so, like I said, he is somebody that will be in my heart, forever. I loved him. I appreciated him being my friend. And like I said, I know he's in a better place now, not in any pain.
Right. No doubt about it, Coach. Coach, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about this year's version of the Rio Rancho Rams after these messages on the Sports Desk.
Fake. They have a man. It's a conversion on the fake. It's complete out wide to the big tight end, David Butler. And it's a Rams first down.
That's tough.
I'll say he stepped out of bounds at the 15. Right back to it, and he is in. Touchdown for Charles Lopez Burton.
Olivas has some time. Josiah Mitchell, it's intercepted! Touchdown. It'll go the distance, and Jared Meechan.
Bunch formation to the left. Cabrera, the handoff. Cabrera's got some room. Up the middle of the 45-40. Foot race to the end zone. Cabrera trying to outrace the Matador secondary. Dash drug down, touchdown, I believe. That'll be a 70-yard touchdown run, and it is. Cabrera
right alongside. We expect to be a low-scoring game. Garcia has a lot of speed. Garcia is gone. Nobody gonna catch him. Touchdown Vikings. Daniel Garcia with breakaway speed.
Yeah.
Brandon will lead us. See if he can get the same sort of magic. This time he looks to his right first, then he's looking to his left. He's going to bomb this out there for Moorhead again! Jahari Moorhead! My goodness!
Kyle Evan Huss back to work on the option. He'll flip it out. Big time hole there. See you later. One play and to the house for Malachi Gutierrez. Hanson rolling. Pressure. It's coming from the side now. He's rolling. Goes down the field. Open man. Touchdown. Elijah Hanson connects.
And that will be blocked up front, picked up, and I think we've got ourselves a return for a touchdown. Jace Henderson, the sophomore, has a million.
I don't know if I could have done that or not. We remember all those signals to give the quarterback.
Rivera throws over the middle, intercepted.
Guess
Third
who that
is there's
is?
Megan Post.
Guess who that
Megan
is?
Posta. Posta down the right side, still on his feet down the left side now, cuts it back up to Haas. Posta may score. Posta still on his feet, dragging a tackler to the end zone, dives in, touchdown, I believe. Let's see, touchdown.
That has to be a
Megan
touchdown.
Posta.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
It is ours, made and played in New Mexico, and we share it with the country. The Isleta New Mexico Bowl, celebrating college football, Albuquerque, and New Mexico. The 18th annual Isleta New Mexico Bowl is Saturday, December 16th at University Stadium. Be a part of the pageantry and tradition of college football's postseason with a unique New Mexican flavor. Annually, one of the best and most exciting and fun games of the season. Visit NewMexicoBowl.com for all your info. The Isleta New Mexico Bowl, where bowl season and the fun begin.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook. I'm your host, Ed Nunez. Our special guest today, Rio Rancho boys head coach Wally Salata. And, you know, Coach, again, we've been friends for so many. We got every time, and you're my color commentator. We actually got to work some games with Henry Tafoya, the legendary Henry Tafoya in 1150. You bought out your Dick Vitale impersonation more than once and, entertained us all. I had you on last year and you didn't do it, and I was kind of waiting for it. But we've shared a lot of basketball memories, Coach. Even I got to say this story, when we played on the team Showtime, Richard Casals, the former Bernalillo star, Arnold Senna, Omar Sierra, the ex-Lobo. I'm wide open one time and you jack a three, and I'm like, hey, Wall, I was wide open. And, well, Ed, the percentages say that this is I don't even know what you said. And I just looked at you like, oh, wow. Okay. Because you've got your own explanations as a coach as to why this is better than that. And I kind of, I just went with it. I said, right. I just went with it.
Ed. So at that time, that's when I was really in my prime because I could shoot the three. People don't understand that, back in our day, we didn't have the three till the three came in at 1987. And that was my senior year in college. And so I had no concept of the three until after college. People don't understand, well, how did I become a great 3-point shooter? There's some things that I did practice-wise, but when we got into the leagues, I tell people, well, if they're not going to guard me, I'm going to jack the three, right? A three's one more point than a two. And even if I missed, Ed, you were underneath the basket for a rebound, so you're going to get an offensive rebound and a putback. So you're getting two things there.
Oh man, that's such legendary stories. And then of course you go into your county, Los Lunas games, city games, up to base games, four leagues at once. Yes, this is true, ladies and gentlemen. Newest averages in every league, and playing Eye of the Tiger while you're going to these games. These are legendary stories, Coach. They really are.
Well, the Eye of the Tiger, I still listen to it. People, again, I try to play the music. In our locker room, I play 101. I play 103.3 at FM, and they bring on Rocky, and so when I hear that music, I turn the volume up to 40. And the C team's in the locker room the other day, looking at me, going, "Coach, what are you doing?" I said, "This is my song." And they had a game, and so it's like this is what gets you going. And so the music, those type of music, Ed, and again, I get the goosebumps. I don't care if I'm coaching or playing. There's certain songs that when they come up, it inspires me. And I just, I can't listen to the music that kids listen to now because the words don't make any sense. And there's a lot of foul language in it. And I told my kids, you can't play that in the locker room. So, but the music, like I said, yes, when I go to games, I would pump it up because that's what got me going, Ed. I was not going to let somebody, and again, I know it's men's league, but, my goal was to win. And we wanted to press. We full court press teams. Teams are like, oh, this is great. We're full court pressing. But at halftime, they're sucking air. And so the second half comes and they can't hang with us. So, when we're scoring 150, we had Donnie Kozlowski one time, Sean Schreier, Steve, I can't remember, Romero from Los Lunas. I mean, we had 4 shooters on the team. It's like, who are you going to guard? So those were the fun days, and I can't do that anymore. And then I'm going to tell you real quick, yes, I did stomp at you a couple times. But after 20 years of stomping, I was wearing shoes. My ankle's starting to hurt. So I can't wear shoes anymore. I got to wear tennis shoes. And the reason why, Ed, I stomp, and I try to tell officials, I got one technical for stomping at Pius versus Academy. And I said, I can't whistle. I cannot whistle. So I use my feet because the kids listen to me on my feet. And the referee the official thought I was showing them up. I said, I'm not showing you up. I'm just stomping at my team to do something. So, and then the cards, you laugh at my cards, Ed, but I tell you what, I tell my kids in practice yesterday, I said, it's real simple. Our defenses are color. I said, red, any color you see, it's a defensive call so that you don't have to read anything. You just got to look at a color. And people laugh at me. And I'll give you this real quick story, Ed. We're playing West Mesa, and Sean Schreier had Tony LaCour scout me on my cards. And so one time we were playing them, and I held up an orange card. And I never threw an orange card out before, and they're kind of looking over, taking a double take, say, what's orange? So, I had to throw that. I got a lot of colors, Ed, so you never know what you're going to get when you see me at a game.
That's for darn sure. Coach, let's go over your team real quick. 2 losses in open season against Valley, 78-50, and against Clovis, 68-47. You mentioned to me, the team's not shooting well. You tell us, you go into Artesia, and, you got Carlsbad, and Coach John Zumbrun plays that 2-3 defense the way Jim Boeheim at Syracuse does. Almost. That's a great defense that they have. Tell us what's going on with the Rams early in the season.
Well, again, I think people, and I guess you know me, Ed, and a lot of people know me. We start slow. This year, I have 2 new players. Noah Nelson, who played football, never played basketball for me. And then Noah Montoya, they're both Noahs. He played baseball for 3 years. He's 6'6". So we, as a coaching staff, we kept those 2 guys knowing that they knew nothing. And so they're learning. They've only been here 2 weeks. They're learning our offenses and defenses. Then we had 2 other seniors who played their sophomore year, didn't play last year. So there's 4 new guys on the program. And the thing about it is when you, in 2 games, we're 4 for 37. That's 11%. And we're averaging 21 turnovers. That's a bad recipe for losing. And I know we're going to shoot better, but if you don't shoot well against a zone, you're probably not going to have a lot of success. And so Coach Zumbrun, he's done that 2-3 zone at Carlsbad, and they play Las Cruces tonight, so they haven't prepared for us like we're preparing for them. But we have 3 offenses that we're going to be attacking them on, and hopefully I can find one that the kids are successful with. But the whole bottom line is, if you can't make an outside shot, then a team will stay in the zone the whole time. So if we make shots, then eventually he's going to have to come out and play man-to-man.
You had one of your players out the other night too, and you said with the knee injury. I can't remember. Was it Johnson?
Jaden Johnson.
Jaden Johnson. Okay, what's his status? Because sometimes those knees, the injuries take a little while to recover. You mentioned he tried to give it a go the other night, but wasn't the same. What's his status?
Well, so, I always say that Jaden is like a car. He's our car engine. And so last Monday in practice, he hustled for a ball and came down, tweaked his knee. And so he didn't play against Valley. When that happened, like I said, we don't have another player like Jaden. Everybody says it's the next man up. But for us, nobody on our program is like Jaden Johnson. He does things, offensively and defensively. So when he didn't play against Valley, we were kind of in trouble. Like I said, no disrespect to my team, but we don't have somebody that can dribble drive to the lane like Jaden does. We don't have somebody that can jump for a rebound. And so when you shoot 3 for 24 in that game, and then you have 19 turnovers, again, bad recipe for success. And so we sat him out that game. We sat him out Thursday. We sat him out Friday. We went to Clovis on Saturday. And so the trainer said that we could play him, just see how his knee goes. He wasn't 100%, but he still scored 15 points and had 8 rebounds, both leaders in those categories. So he needs to be on the court for us to have success. And so, going into Artesia, he's a full go. So we should kind of see, a little bit different team on Thursday when we play Carlsbad.
Mike Mondragon, a heck of a coach too. All the respect in the world for Coach Mondragon. He does a good job. Coach, we got about a minute and a half left, and I wanted you to mention your assistant coaches, because you've got Chris Williams, Marcus Williams, Donald Bynum's been with you for a long time. That guy was a heck of a ball player back in the day, and just one of the classiest dudes you ever met in your life. 2 great soccer players as sons and basketball players. They didn't get that dude's size, but man, they got some athleticism. And just like I said, what a gentle giant. I always had much respect for him. I really liked him a lot. Talk a little bit about your staff.
Well, Dalen's been with me all 15 years. I mean, so it's always nice to have stability in an assistant coach. And yes, his sons, up the ladder, played basketball, but they also played soccer. And I knew when they played soccer, they were going to have that quickness, even though they didn't have the size. So to have him on staff, that helps tremendously, because he knows everything that I do as a head coach. And when he talks in practice, like, he doesn't say a lot, but when he does, he has the kids' attention. So it's always awesome to have him. Now, Chris Williams is an alumni of Rio Rancho, 2005, played for the Chicago Bears. To have someone in his caliber on our staff is huge. We picked up his brother, Marcus, graduate of 2008. He was at Cleveland for many years, and we brought him back to the other side in his first year. So to have 2 alumni, 2 guys that played for Rio Rancho, and they won it in 2007, Marcus did. So he's got that pedigree. And then Walt, my son, he graduated 2015. There's no school that could say they have 3 alumni coaching on a staff. And so to have those guys here, like I said, it's huge. They've all played. They all understand the game. And like I told my parents, I said, when you got questions about playing time, I said, our coaches understand all that. I said, we'll put the players in the right position. So I'm just excited to have this staff. Ramon Swoops, nobody talks about him. He kind of does our stats, comes to practice here and there. We call him El Presidente because he was the school board president at one time. But to have 6 quality coaches on staff really makes a big difference when you're going into the battle, especially in our district. Right now, Volcano's 3-0, Cleveland and Trisco 1-0. So we've got to figure some things out here in the next month or 2 before we get to district. But it's an exciting time. And again, Ed, I wouldn't change it for the world. I mean, this is my passion. This is my love. This is what I've done all my life. And the challenges when people say you can't do it, I said, well, we're going to prove you wrong. So here we go again, not starting the season, 0-2. We started the season 0-3 last year and turned things around, down the road. So we're excited for the opportunity, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk about, what we do here at Rio Rancho and some of the things we did when we were growing up.
Coach Wally Salata, you're good luck. You got to Artesia. Are you going to Carlsbad? You got Carlsbad tomorrow night. We wish you the best of luck in the season. We'll see you down the way. We're going to cover some games, I'm sure, at Rio Rancho. So we'll see you plenty down the road. And thanks for your memories of your very good friend, Bobby Contreras. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Ed. I appreciate you, man. We'll talk to you soon.
You bet. For producer Alden Wani, I'm Ed Nunez. We'll see you next week on the Sports Desk.